And we are live on 100 Days Live Podcast with me, Sonia from Live Podcast Media, and our distinguished guest, Tim Gillette from Simple Easy Websites founder. And he is the founder of Simple Easy Websites. And yes, he is as sharp as Gillette, so I need to be careful tonight. But you know me, I speak whatever on my head. So yeah, 100 Days Live Podcast is sponsored by Ecam Network and then also Blueberry, Expert in You, Piece of Cake, Voice Overs and Focus, and Bioscience Breed. So thank you so much for being here today, Tim. Finally, you are on my screen again. Thank you so much for the support on my live streaming journey, even though sometimes you are a bit pushy as my mentor. How have
Well,
you been?
my mentors push me too, so you know. My mentors really
uh,
push me, and yeah, it's love. It's not. I don't push you because because I want to be mean. I push you because I love you, and I want you to do the
I
best. I
love you
mean,
too because you are
you
my mentor.
yeah, you are one of the people out there, and you know your live stream media and live podcast media. You're somebody who takes chances. I wish I could show you how many people in America that I wish I could get to take the chances that I see you take.
Mm.
They won't. You know what I mean? They're scared to get on the screen. You get on the screen and you're not the best at it, but I'm going to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
if they go look at what you did 4 or 5 years ago, you are so much far better because you're always improving yourself. There are people who
Oh,
are
thank
not.
you for
They
the
yeah,
compliment.
yeah. So and yeah, I always like coming back here. All right. Um, you know, I've kind of taken a back seat from speaking. I really don't
Mm-hmm.
travel to speak as much. I'm limited where
Mm-hmm.
I go. I'm limited to the places I go because I've got a bunch of other stuff going on, and I'm not out there to be. And you and I talked about it just before we went live. I don't want to be the influencer anymore. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an influencer.
Me
I'm a guy who makes the
neither.
back
Me
end work.
neither. I'm not
Yeah.
the influencer. I'm a pretty sexy host. No, I'm just kidding. What I mean, Tim, when you told me that you would like to retire, I had my broken heart. I was very angry at you at that time. That oh, this is not your time to retire. And then at least wait
Yeah.
for me until I become very rich and successful and famous. Then you can retire. But then what changed your mind that you return to the screen again and on the public speaking industry? And then you come
Um,
up with a new project at that time with simple, easy websites, right? And then you provide the affordable websites for the entrepreneurs and also live streamers and podcaster, everyone who need it.
Um, well, I came up with so most people don't understand my business model for years was everything I did was to build a list, to build an email list of people. And rather than most people, they're trying to build an email list so they can try to sell them something. I
Mm-hmm.
built an email list so that for two reasons. Number one, I want to ask you on that list, what do you do? Who do you help? And then second, I want to ask you, what do you need? And my job is to connect the people with what their needs are with people who actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the two together. That's been my business model for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2023, a lot of people came to me and said, "Man, we would love to find an affordable website solution." And I do not charge what a lot of website designers charge.
Mm-hmm.
We are very much an affordable solution to help people, a lot of the small end people. Now, most of the people I help, 90% of them will not be in business in 2 years. They just will not take the right action needed to be successful, right? They just don't. But those are the people I'm passionate about helping. I wanted to retire because basically, I like being behind the screens. I like hiding in my studio and like where I'm sitting right now. I have three screens. I've got two lights that haven't been on in hardly forever. I have all this stuff in here. I like to shut my office door and hide in here. This is my hiding spot, right? I love being here creating things.
And you
Um,
sound like the introvert like me that way. Well, you are not.
well, I'm an introvert. I'm very much an introvert. I always
Mm-hmm.
have been. Most speakers, like that travel the speaking circuit are
Mm-hmm.
introverts.
Wow.
I just wouldn't admit that for years. For years, I just didn't admit it. I knew it was, and I knew things about events that made me uncomfortable, and I just decided to, keep it in. All right. The pandemic helped me go, okay, life's short. It's time to get real with who you are and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've just recently started flying to limited events. Um, I am not
And what was
a
it? What event did you attend? Was it the one that you told me before that you would be on the billboard or something, and then on the big
no,
screen?
no. This one here, where I was over the weekend, was a real estate training seminar that I went
Mm-hmm.
to. And I wasn't teaching at the seminar. This one here was attending. All right, because I'm trying to. I do own a lot of real estate. My wife and I are real estate
Mm-hmm.
investors, in here in America, and we own real estate in several states here in the United States. Um, I always want to try to better myself in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am leaving in 2 weeks. I'm leaving to go to Los Angeles, and I'll be in Los Angeles for a week. I literally am going there for an event, and then I'm taking the train back to finish writing my next book. All
Hmm.
right.
Wow.
Um,
So that is the new book next.
yeah. So I'm writing a book that's just it's a cross between a cross between my marketing experience
Mm-hmm.
and my personal growth. My personal mastermind, my marketing mastermind, which I still run and I still do, is built on 7 different principles. And I'm writing the book about those 7 principles and 7 things that that you are 7 things, 7 rules of success is what I'm calling it. My simple, easy rules of success,
Mm-hmm.
and it's talking about those things that matter to me. You know, and I decided that when I write, I need to be private and need to go do it. I need a place to go do it and be in solitude to get it done. So I decided to take a train journey to do it, coming home from Los Angeles. Um, in my speaking, I started in 2022 to try to cut off people from hiring me to speak. And
Mm-hmm.
I started by telling a joke from stage. And I would tell a 15-minute joke for my 20-minute speaking slot,
Hmm.
hoping that people would go, okay, this guy's just a jokester and we don't want to bring him back. Well, everybody loved my joke and kept bringing me back. They wanted to hire me more.
So you
So
should be the stand-up comedy instead of a speaker, Tim.
no, so the joke is I tell, and I literally take almost 15 minutes to tell it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how to wash a cat. I found it online and I just learned to exaggerate it on how to wash a cat. Um,
Yeah, you had
and
a
it's
cat
just,
before until it made the mess at your studio. I remember that. It was 2 years ago, right? And
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, but um, there are places that when I was a speaker, I was like trying to get into and I couldn't because
mm-hmm.
I was fighting who I really was. Well, now that I'm who I am and I've got a mission that I'm on and I'm helping people with websites and helping people with their online marketing and helping not just do live streaming, but connect the dots behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because there's so many people who teach you to turn the camera on, but nobody teaches you how to turn the camera on and connect the dots behind the scenes so it works as a business.
Or know
Everybody's
what to
about
talk
just getting
about,
on
yes.
camera and they don't have a business model behind it.
Mm-hmm.
We help people build the business model behind it. It's just one fathom to get on. When I started building all of that, all of these places who knew me over the years were like, well, we want you to come speak. And then it's, well, if you're going to quit speaking, we want you to speak one more time. And I remember when I was saying, that's it, I'm done. And I cut off a lot of people and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. Um, I cut a really good friend off in California, and I literally did not speak at his event because I didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it offended him. It made him upset with me. And we're not really that close anymore because I didn't speak at his event. Now I will never ask him to speak at his event again because I said no to him. But now, if he asks me, I have to come back because not because I need to be on stage, but no, I owe this to him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, Nick Cree, over in Australia. Some of you know Nick and his smashing business owner smashing it online is his community. Um, Nick has many a times woken up in the middle of the night to speak for my people, all right, and come out to my events and be a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling Nick, I owe you. Anytime you need it, I'm here for you. And he keeps going, yeah, yeah, I want you to speak to my audience in Australia. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm not flying there. I don't want to fly that far. I really,
Ah,
yeah, I hate flying. I'm
I
not scared
know.
of
That's
flying.
why.
I hate, I hate flying.
Come
It
on,
is
Tim.
my
You need
pet
to
peeve
come
to get
to
on a
Bali
plane.
next year for our summit. You said that it takes many years for it, but then maybe you need a little bit push, like you pushed me on my live streaming
Yeah.
journey. And can I return from the to the beginning when you mentioned that there are many people out there who do not hit the like button, even though the facilities that you have in United States are much more advanced than here, I believe. And also, if you compare the cost to go live streaming, like here I have to rent the studio only to get the what is it what soundproof room, and then the microphone in US dollar, the software in US dollar. You see, why don't do they do that? Why don't they do that?
Um, I remember the best way I can do this is I remember going to the first podcast movement.
Mm-hmm.
It was here in the Dallas area, and 90% of the people at that conference, they were talking about what microphone they're getting, what sound beer they, what
Mm-hmm.
headphones they're getting. They were talking about all this stuff. For the normal guy coming in, going, I don't care about microphones. I don't
Yeah.
care about headphones. I don't care about cameras. I mean, the average person doesn't care about that stuff. They just see the podcast and go, "But that'd be neat. I wouldn't mind doing it." I grew up around the radio industry and the auto industry, but the radio industry
Mm-hmm.
taught me to be around this stuff, and I didn't care. I didn't care what microphone I had. My very first podcast I did from 2012 to 2014. Hold on, I got it right here. As a matter of fact, I had this thing right here,
Wow.
this computer right here,
Yeah.
and a set of earphones. That's how I did my podcast.
What year
And
was
this
it?
computer, that was 2012. Now, this was my
2012.
brand in 2012 was Rocker Life Coach. This is
Yeah.
an old Dell computer that I won't get rid of because I started my business with it. Now, it won't work. I could try to make it won't work. It's dead. But I keep it here because of the fact this is where I started my business. I
Mm-hmm.
started a broadcasting podcast with this, plugging in the earphones, going on Blog Talk Radio, um, and with a free version of Blog Talk Radio at the time. Now, Blog Talk Radio is no longer with us. It's gone off to broadcasting heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's how I did it. When I got started live streaming with video, the first live stream I ever did with my video was my iPhone. And I literally, everybody was talking about Blab at the time. This was
Oh yeah.
2015. Was Blab?
And it
Remember
sounds
Blab?
really old when people mention that on podcast. You
Yeah.
see, I didn't know
Um,
about that. I think
yeah.
I'm still a
I went
baby.
my network at the time was talking about Blab.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went on my phone one night because I'm waiting for my wife to land. I got to go to the airport and pick her up. I'm waiting. So I just, you know what? Let me go on my phone and check this out. And I went on Blab. I signed up. I got an account. Within 15 minutes, I'm in a square talking to Michael Hyatt from Nashville. Now, I have a podcast. I've been wanting to interview Michael Hyatt for years. I could never get through to him. I get put into the room because of a subject he's talking about. I relate to the subject. I put my input about the subject they are talking about. And I just said, Michael, I've been trying to reach you for years. I would love to have you as a guest on my podcast. If it's possible, can we chat offline?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I said online. Now, it never happened. Michael and I I mean, our worlds are different. We just don't have the same clientele, so it's not a match, right? But it was
Mm-hmm.
someone I was trying to get hold of. Well, Sunday night, I'm sitting back in my house going, okay, let me check this out some more. I go on the computer and I check it out. And I jump into a few rooms and I listen to people talking. And I think it was within an hour, someone invited me to come on screen. And once I came on screen, they asked me about my story, and I tell my story. My story is I'm in the speaking world because Zig Ziglar was a friend of mine, and I washed his car. And
Mm-hmm.
Zig got me into speaking because he seen something in me. And I tell that story to people, and within a matter of 2 days, everybody wants to interview me on their blab show. And which, okay, I had a following in 48 hours of being on blab. I had a following of 2,500 people. And I'm like, where did these people come from? Because it's like we're all struggling to build a list. We're all struggling to build a following. That told me at the time, this is what the audience wants to hear from you. Give them what they want. Too often we think about, well, what do I want to talk about on a live stream?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does your audience want to hear? If your audience wants to hear you interview Anita, bring her on. If the audience wants to hear you, interview Tony Robbins, do what you can to get Tony Robbins on.
Mm-hmm.
If the audience wants to hear you talk about how to make technology, talk about it. Don't focus on what lights do I need? What camera do I need? What microphone do I need? What earbuds do I need? That's minor stuff.
I
We can
understand,
fix
but
that.
those big speakers, they have the fancy studio, they have everything. So when we try to reach them more, then maybe they are very picky. What I mean is, you know that I have been interviewing amazing people, including you.
Yeah.
They don't care about that, but then on my self doubt, sometimes it is really scary, Tim, to ask someone to be on my show. You see that?
Okay. So to me, I'm looking, whenever I have a problem, I look for 101
Mm.
ways to solve the problem. I don't just focus on the problem. I wanted a bunch of people on my radio show, and I was doing it. Then I was doing it on a radio station in Phoenix, Arizona.
Hmm.
And I wanted to get certain people on my podcast. And I had a friend who needed work. So what I did one day was I said, come over to my house. I wrote down on a list, I want you to get a hold of these people and get them on my podcast for me. Get them to be a podcast guest. Here's my calendar.
Hmm.
Call them and do it. One of the people she called was here in Dallas was Rick Fairless, who runs Strokers, which is a big biker bar and motorcycle
Yeah.
manufacturer, custom builder, and everything. And I wanted to interview Rick. She just got Rick on the phone and said, "Hey, my name's I think the name was Wendy or something." But she goes, "Rick, this is Wendy. I'm Tim Gillette's assistant, and Tim Gillette would love to interview on an interview on his podcast. Would you be interested?"
Hmm.
And Rick said, "Well, yeah. All I had to do was have someone call and ask." So hold on. Now we get to see the guest. All right. This is what's changed with Tim's world now. You ready? This is why Tim wanted to retire. Wave to
Hey,
everybody. Hi.
baby! I see you again. How are you?
This is my grandson, so everybody
Yep.
knows. Jesper comes in, and every time Grandpa's talking on the computer,
Yeah.
Grandpa, yeah.
When we discussed something also before, and he came. Oh,
Hmm.
I love to see you, baby. And
Yep.
Tim, okay, because you mentioned about property, then I remember that you build the apartment building also, right? And then may
Yep.
I ask you this secret question from your speaking journey, from the website and everything on social media, which one bring money most? The property business or the speaking business? Please be honest with this. Is it worth it to be the content creator like us? Because today in everywhere people dream to have a lot of money from YouTube, from podcast, from the sponsor, something like that. So is it worth it to build our business online, or yeah, just do the offline like you do also in the property?
Uh, there's two different ways to go about that answer.
Hmm.
I can make more money doing this, speaking,
Hmm.
right? But after I get done today, I have to go do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So in other words, I can go literally and I can fly from here to Los Angeles. I could speak for 1 hour in an event and make $5,000 to $10,000. Easy. It's a great way to make a living. It's a great for 1 hour's worth of work and 2 days worth of travel. It's a great paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I have to go do it again next week to get paid, and next week, and that, you know what I mean. And the work is not consistent.
That's true.
Real estate, my real estate business. I go buy
That's
the
true.
property. I get the team to go out there and run it. All right. I have the right systems put in place.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I have to do is look at the reports at the end of the month and cash my check. In other words, I do the work one time, I put the right team in place, and it makes money all by itself. It's
Mm-hmm.
not as much money, but it makes money. The difference is once this one's going here, I would try to get my hand in camera. Once this one's going here, then I go get this one. Then I go get this one. Then I go get this one. And I can add a bunch of them. And because they don't require my time, they're something that makes money when I'm not here. Now, in this realm, I've also written a bunch of informational products. Like, I have a simple, easy podcast launch course, which you can get for
Mm-hmm.
free, right? I write a ton of those courses. People go buy my courses all the time, and I make money the same way. All right. Not a lot. It's a little bit here and a little bit there. But I don't have to go to work and do it every day. It's there. It's already up. I did the work one time, and it pays me over and over again. That's the difference between them. All right. A lot of people are looking for how can I make the most money? For me, it's not the most money. For me, it's about what gets me freedom. That if I don't want to work today, I don't have to.
And which one do you
If I
love most, the property or the speaking industry?
um the truth I don't I don't love either. I love the lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
I love the lifestyle that the real estate gives me. I love the mission, all right, that speaking gives me. So when I'm out speaking, and like I said, I'm not really traveling to be a speaker anymore, but I am on a lot of stages all of a sudden. I have a lot of people asking me, well, if this is gonna, it's like the Ozzy Osbourne concerts. This may be my last tour, right?
I
So a lot of people are going,
understand, but you
I
have a lot of surprises like sponsoring the golf tournament, something like that. Really, sometimes it is out of the things that people think of, right? And then
yeah,
you do it, and then how did you get the chance or create the chance? I didn't know, but you were there, and then you just do it.
yeah. Well, one of the 7 rules in my business is you have to be able to make money now. You have to be able to make money now. All right. Everything
Yeah,
we
I
are
have
selling.
to
Yeah.
now.
Everything we're selling as speakers, as authors, as content creators, as influencers, which you and I are not. Um, Everything we're selling is
Mm-hmm.
air and time, right? And um, we don't sell air and time today. Tomorrow, we can't sell today's airtime.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to do everything we have to do is to make money now. We have to be creative now because tomorrow I can't get today back tomorrow once it's gone. So you've got to figure out those things that you need to do to sell and occupy the time and fill the air today. You've got to do it today. And that is where most people in business fail, right? They're not selling today. I go through many days where I don't make a sale or I don't get done what I wanted to get done, and I realize I'm never going to get that day back. So I become very much thinking about how can I always be filling that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, this morning I very rarely take a morning call. So you and I went live at 10 a.m. my time
Mm-hmm.
here in Dallas.
Yeah, and
I
you
very
just
rarely take.
finished with the client also before
I just finished
speaking
talking
here.
to a
Yeah.
client. I very rarely take a client before 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I'm lazy. I like to get up in the morning and I like to spend an hour at coffee. Uh, there's things I want to go do and relax. But the last month I've been very busy, so I started to take extra times to help these clients because I got to get some of the work done for them. Um, so I have to do things every now and then that I don't like to do. It's just part of the gig, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's airtime. I've got to fill the air today because I don't know what tomorrow it is.
Yep.
Um, I know, you and I talked. Well, I think it was 3 weeks ago, but
Yep.
before I actually found the spot for this to be on,
Yes.
um, because I've got a busy schedule. All
Mm-hmm.
right,
I understand.
I'm filling next week already, and I know next week I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday, I'm on a plane going to an event, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, my schedule's full. I can't book any time during that.
Further
Right?
to Europe this time?
To what?
Further to Europe this time to speak there that you fly. See,
No.
I keep trying to track you to come to Bali, and then I know
Uh,
you how busy you are, but then you decided to continue the show like the way you drink, right? And
yeah,
then
yeah.
is this because you would
We do
like to
that. That's
support the other, or this is because you like to do that also because it is a nice show? I like it because I know nothing about alcohol. That's why it is like the basic knowledge from the beginning when I follow it, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Hold on a second. My door got popped open. It's getting noisy.
Okay.
Um, so the Like the Way You Drink was created because my partner Gladys and I
Yeah,
were
Gladys.
at a networking event, and we were introduced and found out that we both had a love for tasting whiskeys and pairing it with certain foods.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to create a unique podcast, and we don't have a large following. I think maybe we have maybe 500 downloads a month. We don't have a lot, right? I'd love to have more people follow us. I'd love to get more downloads from it, but we do it out of passion. It's something we love to do, and that's where most people are trying to figure out how to make the money rather than start with what do you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We like to do it, and if nobody ever listens to it, we don't care. So, my Tim Gillette show, I made money off of that show because of the fact that it was built on building a list. It was not built on, let me try to get downloads. It was built on building a list. So I bring you on and I interview you. Well, in
Mm-hmm.
order for you to come on the show, for me to interview you, you had to join my list.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I did that. Um, I think we get caught up into too often is trying to do things with the wrong intention.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, you know, for you, I mean, you asking me, this is a coaching moment for me to give you live on air. For
Yep.
you asking me to come to Bali, right?
Yep.
I have a lot of friends who are rock stars. They played in very famous bands over the years. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
friends in there, a lot of actor friends, right? Who are on, you see them in movies all the time. I don't brag about my friends because they made themselves famous. There's nothing Tim did to help them make famous, so it's not my job
Mm-hmm.
to steal from them.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to go to my friends and say, okay, what does it take to get you on my podcast? What does it take to get you to speak at my event? Right. And I actually had one of my celebrity friends speak at my event, and he told me his fees. I said, okay. And not that many people showed up that where his fee was going to cost me quite a bit of money.
Yep.
But I was still willing to write the check.
Mm-hmm.
He tore the check up and he gave me a much more discounted price because we're friends. And I didn't ask him for the favor. I didn't say, hey, come do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what does it take? And he told me the fee. I wrote the check. And if I couldn't afford the fee, I said, okay, I'll get back to you on that. I
Mm-hmm.
won't ever say, well, I can't afford that. I just go, I'll get back to you on that. Because everybody who comes and everybody who wants the things that you want to get done,
Yep.
ask them what it takes. And in some cases, they're going to tell you it takes five, it takes
Eh,
$10,000.
and that is
You just
okay.
go, yeah, you just go, it's okay, it's okay. I'll get back to you. In other words, I'm not giving up. I'm going to go find the $10,000 and I'll get back to you. You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
how you get people to do what you want them to do is you ask them, what does it take?
Mm-hmm.
For you to get me on this show, it's easy. All you got to say is, Tim, I want you. if
Yeah,
you don't
because you
ask,
are
I'm not.
my mentor. You need
Yeah,
to support me to grow, right? So,
yeah. Well, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, but if you don't ask, I'm not going to ask you to be on your show. And as
mm,
far as a lot of people asking me to speak, I don't ask people, "Hey, can I speak on your stage?"
mm.
I wait till people ask me if I want to speak on
Oh,
their
I got
stage.
it. I got it.
I and that's the difference now is when I was just a speaker, I had to
Mm-hmm.
keep asking everybody, "Can I speak on your stage?"
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't ask. All right. And truthfully though, if you reach out to me, I will have a conversation about it. Right. If people reach out and say, Tim, I want you to speak at my event, we'll have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation about it. I'm not going to promise until I talk to you, but I will have a conversation with anybody. All right. I will take a phone call with anybody, and I am open about that. All right. And that's just, that opens doors because I'm willing to do that. Right. But
And
I'm
those
not going to go knock on
seven
your door
rules,
and ask, huh?
and those 7 rules in business, does it included on it that you don't want to, speak on many events anymore unless if they ask you or something like that, Tim?
Yeah. Um, Let me see if I can find them for you, and I will tell you my 7 rules. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't ask. I don't. I used to have a term for this, and my term
Or the
was,
name, the
um,
name of the 7 rules. You
oh,
haven't
my
spelled
rules are,
the title of your book. I was
the
about to
title of my
ask it.
book are the title of my new book is going to be the 7 simple easy rules for success.
Hmm.
So, all right,
When will it
and
be published or launched?
I love it when people make me give them a date. It will be published in January of
Next 2 days on.
2026.
Oh, I thought next 2 days on your birthday, Tim. I cannot say happy
Oh,
birthday now. It will be next 2 days, then I will say happy birthday to you.
uh, I know. I kind of hide the fact that it's my birthday. So this year on my birthday, I will be um, attending and visiting a memorial service for a friend who passed away. And he's been a dear friend of mine for the past 2 years. But I have never been, for the past 24 years, I have not been a fan of my birthday because in America, 9/11 is the day after my birthday.
Yeah,
And the day 9/11, so in 2001, my
yeah.
birthday, we were in a tower restaurant in
Mm-hmm.
Dallas that was 50 stories in the air. And we were up there looking down the stairwell of that structure in Dallas, talking about, um, couldn't imagine having a bombing in a building like this and having to actually
Mm-hmm.
having something happen. We actually had to walk down the stairs, and would we get to the bottom and be alive? And the next day, the planes hit the twin towers. So, um, as a matter of fact, I'm doing a talk on that on that twin tower thing in 2 weeks in Los Angeles, because it's an event about impact.
I
So, and
remember
I
exactly that time too because I forgot if it was before or after I went to Europe for the first time, and it was really
mm,
scary for someone who have never been on the plane and never been abroad. Then we
yeah,
translated in the Middle East. Also, we were not allowed to get out of the plane at that time, something like that. Then yeah, because
yeah,
that's why I remember it well. And yeah, I'm sorry for your loss also.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it impacted my life because it's the day after my birthday.
Hmm, I understand.
So, but I mean, again, the event I'm going to in 2 weeks is about impact, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually the title of my talk is about impact, and I talk about a lot of things as why. Like in my rules, I say, make money now. You got to be able to make money now. I talk about you got to learn to market and promote. All right. I talk about investment. So
Mm-hmm.
many speakers throw around the word investment to try to get you to buy from them. All right. Most people don't understand what investment means. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest foundational thing on mine is inner peace. Inner peace. Everything I do, I've got to have inner peace about doing. All right. I want inner peace in the fact that I don't want to worry about how I'm going to eat today. I want inner peace in the fact that I don't want to have to worry about, will my roof leak?
Mm-hmm.
I want inner peace on the fact that I know that my schedule is filled so much today, but I have gaps in there to relax, so I don't stress myself out.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that matter to me, right? And making an impact in this world, which I'm going to talk about in a couple of weeks at Craig's event, is the impact. And I'll talk about the towers in 9/11. In the 1970s, there was a gentleman who put a rope between the two towers in New York
Mm-hmm.
and a tightrope, and he walked that tightrope between the two buildings up in the air. And you see, that's pretty impactful what he did, but he can never do it again now
That's true.
because those buildings aren't there. And most of us don't realize when we come in there and go, the things we can do for an impact,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't do them, the opportunity to do them in the future will be gone.
That's
You
true.
have to act today. You only have today. Again, on Wednesday, my birthday, that night, I'm going to a celebration memorial type service for my friend Tyler Atkins, who passed away less than 10 days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler Atkins was an impact in my life. And I'm going to forego celebrating my birthday or come home and have a late dinner with my wife for my birthday to go celebrate my friend's life because he will never be able to come up and give me a hug again. He's
That's
gone,
true.
and I will be able to go and give his wife a hug, you know, um, and I've had that happen more times than you want to know in my life. When I rode motorcycle, I actually had a or my early days of motorcycle touring.
Yeah.
I had a gentleman who was a friend of mine who
On your
crashed and
Harley.
died right behind me. Yeah,
What
he
happened?
crashed.
Sorry.
He went around a corner, and I know whether they didn't know whether he didn't have control of it, or maybe he wasn't paying attention. Maybe his mind went. There's a million things that could have went wrong, but he crashed and he died. And his wife was on the back of the bike, and she lived. And I can't ever hang out with my buddy Elton again.
Are you still
But
on the bike sometimes?
I actually, I sold my last motorcycle in 2019, and I'm not saying I won't get another one because I love them. I
Mm-hmm.
just right now I have other things that matter in my life. That's
With
part of
that
why
long
eventually I
hair
wanted to.
again?
Part. No, I'm never gonna have long. I'm probably never gonna have long hair again. Um, I I will probably. One of the things I want to retire is I'd love to get a motorcycle again. You know what I mean? I'd love to
You
go
keep talking
take a mo.
about retiring. I already told you that you cannot retire before I become rich, famous, and successful.
Well, you want to become rich?
Yeah, right now.
You want me?
Desperately
You want me?
now. I mean, I really have to prove myself, Tim.
You want to get better results and you want to go faster?
Yep,
Yep. Join Tim's
everyone has it.
mastermind.
Will
Yeah.
do.
Join Tim's mentorship program and you'll
But
find out
I'm
how fast you
scared
can go.
because before joining your masterclass, you already pushed me this far, and I still have my offline job, blah blah blah. A lot of excuses still behind me.
Yeah. I have no excuses.
That's
If I
true.
told you how much money I spend on mentors, and there's a lot of times I spent money on mentors that I got nothing in
Okay, that
return
is
for
in
it.
US dollar compared with the minimum wage standard here. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
It is a lot.
That's why
And
this is
I
surprising when you told me that people there are not going live streaming or podcasting or create contents. Well, they have the chance, they have the technology. Still
yeah.
surprising me until today that it
They
happened
yeah,
also
they,
from you. I've heard it just now, just today from you also. So, what can move them? What will make them to move? Into the media.
the the greatest thing that my mentor Zig Ziglar ever said. All right, you want to get what you want, help enough other people get what they want first.
Mhm.
You want to actually get what you want in your business,
Mm-hmm.
start broadcasting and telling people how you can help them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, turn the microphone on, turn the speaker on, and talk to people. Right? Bring people online, build relationships. I've interviewed over 900 people, and probably I want to say 700 of those people I've interviewed before we turned the camera on that day and talked, I'd never met them. The
Mm-hmm.
first time I ever met them was when we went live on air,
Wow.
and that's a unique experience, and very few people can interview that way. I
Yes,
can,
I did
all right,
many of them before on the other 200 days, right? 100, 100, and then
yeah.
it was great. It was great experience, but sometimes people can be very different in front of the camera and behind the camera, and you talk about the mental health of content creators also, and you spend the time also to relax between your business, and then with the media and also in the property you have the time to relax also. What about the people who have just started, who haven't known where to go, or they have no goals in media? What are your suggestion from
Uh,
them?
I suggest you to book 10 podcasts.
Hmm.
Write down 10 subjects you're going to talk about.
Hmm.
Schedule them. In other words, I'm going to do them on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, whatever it is. Schedule them
Hmm.
and discipline yourself to keep them. Schedule 10 and go do it. And don't worry about who's listening. Don't look at the numbers of how many people watched. All 10. Do all 10 first. And then go back, all right, and see what you did.
When you
You want to really have a good measurement of how well you can do online, how
Yeah,
good you can do
yeah,
at
that's right.
podcasting. Do 100. What is it that you do every time? You do 100. When you do 100, all right, and then you look at your numbers, you have a great measuring tool. 100 will tell you, well, I did 100 broadcasts, 40 of them went good, 20 of them I really sucked at, 10 of them I don't ever want to interview that. I mean, it'll tell you so much about what you want to do and don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It'll outline it for you, right? We used to have this live streaming challenge. I probably could look. It's probably still in my opt-ins somewhere, but um, the live streaming challenge was designed over the fact that it was 21 or 30 different topics on and did a live podcast about it.
Like the first
And
time I created 100, no topics like today. Everyone can speak whatever they want to, based on their backgrounds, and actually it was a kind of interesting. Maybe I need to do that again. And Tim,
yeah.
with the challenges, creating 100 days podcast, and then when you started, how long did it take for you to be known by others before you were on the stage, just on the media, that you didn't know the people who you interview, right? So how long did
So
it take for you?
I was interviewing people on Blog Talk Radio
Mm-mm.
and online radio for 2 years before people really knew who I was.
2 years.
I spent 2 years of doing broadcasts before anybody really knew who I was.
Will it be
No,
faster for other people with the technology today in
with the
broadcasting?
technology we have today and with cameras, you can become a lot better. No, I did audio only. I didn't do cameras
Mm-mm.
back
Mm-mm.
then. With camera, all right. And actually, we were just talking about this in one of my other masterminds last week about, like John Lee Dumas. John Lee Dumas still does a
Yeah,
great
I
show
know.
and it's audio only,
I
right?
know him.
And John Lee Dumas is just someone who built and built and built and built and kept going, right? But for the average person starting today, if they're not putting the camera on, they're not doing live media with audio and video together, you're going to stumble at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people who are going to be the people who can launch and be successful at just an audio without people know who they are usually celebrities. So like I listen to Mike Rowe's podcast. Mike Rowe was on TV for years with Dirty Jobs. You get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan can do anything he wants because we've seen him for years on TV, right? Um, who else is? I've watched a couple other like that too. I see an awful lot of people like right now. There's a podcast with the Kelsey brothers who were in football,
Mm-hmm.
right? Theirs is blowing up. Why? Because they're famous in football. For the average person who's not famous in anything, they've got to get online and find a niche to talk about,
Yeah, that's true.
and they've got to do it. They've got to find out something to broadcast. And now I love testing markets and testing to find ideas all the time. Most people who test markets would never think about the idea of coming up with weird ideas. Um, I had a blog. It wasn't a podcast. It was a blog for years. All right, I had two of them, and I'll tell you about. One of them was called TV Junkie Girl. Right? It was a girl blog. It was written by me, and basically, what the blog was about was I watched stupid shows that girls would watch and wrote a blog post about it.
Mm.
And people would go read it because it was it was designed to, and I got out of it because most of the people reading it were teenage girls. And I did not want to build a market of teenage girls. I have no other places to go in my other business to take that. And it just didn't work for me, so I ended it one day. The other one I did, my cat.
Yeah,
I just took pictures of
I
my cat
remember
and
that.
I would write stories about what my cat, like, if depending on how he was sleeping or how he was laying, and I would make up a story about it, and somehow that story would relate to what was going on in the world. And I basically, and it was safuthecat.com. It's not even available anymore because we don't have it. Basically, my cat had 900 subscribers.
And it was the time when the animal, what is it, contents are not like today
Yeah.
that everyone can be very creative with it. But how did you come with that idea also about the junkie girl? Because I don't know. At that time, there was no ChatGPT, there was no Google search or something like that. So how did you come with those ideas? And what are the challenges did you face at that time to create content compared with today in this AI era, team, for the content creators?
In our AI era, we could so easily type into Chat GPT or Perplexity, which I use a lot, and ask what is going on. I built an audience, and I ask the audience what they want, and I go get it for them. That's why I said I've done the Tim Gillette show for a version of it since 2012, and in order to be on my show, I say anybody can apply, and I think it's timgillette.com/podcast interview.
And
Anybody
must
can
have
apply.
website. I remember that.
You must have a website, and in the application, it asks you, would you like to join my newsletter? If you say no, I'm just going to ask you, Anita, if you said no, what do you think the chances are that I'm going to have you on the podcast? I'm not, because I put an
Network.
application process in to build a list. Once I have the list, I literally ask the list, what can I get for you? What do you need? What do you want? I don't just come up with the idea. I ask the list what they want, and I find a way to go get it for them. That's literally been my business model for 15 years. I ask you what you want, and I go get it for you. And in some cases, they go, hey, I want to be known online like you're known online. Great, that's going to take mentorship. Let me tell you how you do that. Here's the link to join my mastermind program, right? Here's the link to my program that addresses that, which leads to my mastermind program. Everything I do leads to two places online. Everything. Number one, it leads you to, do I need a website? I have a website company. Number two, do I need help in marketing, which leads to my mastermind and my mentorship programs. Everything I do leads to them. Now, most people out there, all right, they want to sell their mastermind, or they want to sell their coaching,
True.
or they want to sell something, but they never stop to ask the audience what the audience wants. And I try to share with them, this is how my coaching will help you get that. If my coaching will not help them get that, all right, for instance, someone came to me and said, Tim, I want to learn how to be a better bride at my wedding. I have no experience in being a bride. I'm a guy. I'd be a better groom. Just saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not my forte. I would take them out and find them someone who has been a bride and gone through that, right? Um, it's like there's certain things that I am not qualified to teach.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I am a real estate investor. I do not teach real estate investing. Do not, because of the fact that I know people who know more about it than me. And what I will do, if you are interested in real estate investing, I'm going to lead you to my mentors and you can hire them. I don't teach that. That's not my expertise. That is
Mm-hmm.
something I do with my money. Getting you online, I can teach you that. I can teach you I can teach you how to make more money with no audience than anybody else because I've done
Yeah.
it for years where I had next to no audience
Yeah.
but made money doing it.
And the
So
team,
what
the
else can I help you
challenges.
with?
Well, so many, but the time runs very fast. This is the problem when we go live streaming and then you are here.
Mm-hmm.
So many in my head because it's been a long time also. And believe it or not, I've just changed my book's title also. And yes, it is from my interviews. I mean, from the best interviews that I have. So I would like to not only summary review and then also give the lessons from all of the guests, the best guest speakers that I have been interviewing, so other people can read the book and learn from them also if they don't watch the live streaming on podcast. So the
Mm-hmm.
title is From Brand to Influence: How Global Leaders Build Media Branding with Authority and Impact. So, and I will have the forward from Rob Greenlee, and you know him, and also Todd Cochrane.
I know Rob. Rob's a great guy, man. I love Rob.
And he has been supporting me also on my live streaming work, including the live podcast insider, everything that I do. And he is the columnist also from for live podcast insider and on live podcast awards, and he is one of the lead judges also, Tim. So it's an honor to have him on everything I do, just like you are also. But Tim, again, you haven't mentioned the challenges that modern content creator face today. In the past, maybe there was not enough technology and you had to do the research and ask your audience what they want to, including your clients. What about today? What are the challenges that the content creators might face?
Um, the content creators of today, the challenges they're facing is their biggest worry is, well, nobody's watching me,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't they don't just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If they just kept going, they would, you know what I mean? The audience would find them. I went. You asked me earlier, how long did it go? It was 2 years, guys. I kept going for 2 years. Just because you don't see that number in the corner light up with 25 or 100 people watching you live
Mm-hmm.
does not mean you're not making an impact. Keep going.
Not at all, because when you see on Instagram, you see on Facebook, and then also LinkedIn and YouTube, they are accumulated. Now it's not only because of the numbers, like Tim, but then what about the people who would like to give up because there is no viewer or no audience? Maybe they will think, oh, my subject is not good enough or something like that, Tim. What happened?
Well, if you think your subject's not good enough, the best way to fix that is change your subject.
Mm-hmm. I
Come up with a
understand.
better
With the
subject.
research. But then you continue also your what is it, the way you drink, because maybe if there is no viewers, and but many people love drinking and they would like to watch your show. But when it happened that someone create a show that nobody wants to watch, and yeah, it's hard for them, right? Especially for the beginner who has just started podcasting and live streaming. And then, yeah, of course, we don't need to give up. But how long does it take until they realize that and it doesn't work? You have to change it. 2 years? No, we cannot wait
No.
for that long, Tim. So with the technology
You,
we have today,
you
with the SEO keywords and everything, it's very easy to create the subjects.
you just got to find something you enjoy, and you got to find something your
Mm.
audience wants to hear.
So back
And
to the
you've
patient.
got, yeah, you've got to hold on a second. My neighbor's trying to call me, and I can't get on the phone with him while I'm on the phone with you. Um, uh,
It's okay. Two
uh,
more minutes then. Oh, one more minute.
yeah, yeah. No, I'll call him back in a minute. Um, anyway, I mean, you got to keep trying. Most people are not.
Mhm.
They'll try one thing and give up. The difference between a successful person and a failure is the successful person tried one more time. That's all. They tried one more time. Every time you see it's not working, try one more time. That's all you got to do. Keep trying. All right. I can't promise you it's going to happen in 3 months. I can't promise you it's going to happen in 9 months. Right. The world of broadcasting has got a lot of noise in it right now.
That's
You
true.
got to figure out what it is that you can do to get them to come to hear you in a world of noise.
To stand out.
And you've got to keep trying until you find out.
Thank you so much, Tim. I have to close this. It's almost 1 hour, and I know that you have a lot of things to get done, just like me. No, I'm going to return and sleep for my morning work. Tim, how can people reach you out easily?
SimpleEasyWebsites.com. All right. There's a wonderful tool in there that you can actually get from me on automation, or you can go to timgillette.com, which is my name. So,
Yeah, and I can access about Tim Gillette on Simple Easy websites. Now it
mhm.
works. Before I maybe just some kids. It's okay. Now it works.
Oh,
Thank you.
there was a point in time last year where I had to actually
About
I
us
actually had to
all the time.
block certain countries. Yeah. So,
Oh, I understand. That's why it didn't work when I tried it 3 times, but now it's okay on the studio.
okay.
Tim, it's an honor to have you here today again. And thank you so much for always supporting me in Live Podcast Media. And hello, Jasper.
Wait, bye bye. Wait, bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye bye, sweetheart. Are you going to have lunch now? I cannot hear
Hmm.
you.
He
So
can't.
sorry.
He can't hear you because you're in my
Yeah,
ears, not
yeah,
on
on.
on speaker. Yeah. So,
Bye bye. Thank you so much
okay.
for being on the
Have a
screen with me, handsome
You
boy.
bet.
Tim, thank you. And I'm looking forward to talk to you again behind the screen
Okay.
and
We'll
ask
talk
about
soon.
this. See you. Have a great day. And that is Tim Gillette from Simple Easy Websites. And I would like to thank my sponsor again before closing it, because then this is my work. To have the sponsor, thank you so much, Katie from Ecam. Because of her, I use Ecam for my live streaming platform, and I love it. And then also, of course, Blueberry, Todd Cochrane, thank you so much for giving me the platform for my podcast also. And Karen, expert in you, and then Jody Krangle, who gives me the special voice for the opening of my podcast. Really, really cool. From Piece of Cake Voice Awards and Focus, and Mark Stinson from Bioscience Bridge, and Tim Gillette, of course, who has been with us today for almost 1 hour. Tim, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.